Constructing a testable question. I can write a testable question that includes an independent variable and a dependent variable. At the playground, Big PomPom noticed that kids being pushed on the swing didn't all move at the same speed. What things could change the motion of someone being pushed?
I need to find a way to test my question. What makes a question testable? Well, a testable question is one that can be answered by designing and carrying out an experiment. Well, I know that experiments have independent variables and dependent variables. I can make my question testable if I have those variables in my question too. A variable is something that can change. An independent variable is something that the scientist, you, chooses to change in the experiment.
Gengar? This time, I choose you!
You are a strong, independent scientist, so you get to choose the independent variable. What about the dependent variable? A dependent variable is something that you will measure in the experiment. The thing you measure depends on what you chose to change.
The answer, my friend, is it's not certain, it depends. The answer's it's not certain, it depends.
Does changing blank affect blank? That's the format for a testable question. The first blank is where you write your independent variable, and the second blank is where you write your dependent variable. So, to find the parts of a testable question, find the independent variable by asking, what is the thing that someone will choose to change? Then find the dependent variable by asking, what is the thing that someone will measure? For example, if I'm asking the question, how does changing the height of the ramp affect the speed of the car going down the ramp? What is my independent variable? Well, I'm choosing to change the height of the ramp. That's my independent variable. What is my dependent variable? I'm going to measure how fast the car goes. That would be my dependent variable. So my testable question would be, does changing the ramp height affect the speed of the car? One more example. The question here is, how does changing the amount of light affect how much a plant grows? What's the independent variable here? It's the amount of light. That means the dependent variable in this question is the amount the plant grows. What about my question, which is what can change the motion of a swing? We can use Newton's second law of motion to find our independent and dependent variables. Our independent variable, what we choose to change, can be mass or acceleration. We can only change one variable at a time, but we could do two different experiments to try both of these out. Newton's second law says that changes in mass or acceleration can change force. So we can measure the force of the swing as our dependent variable. We will have two testable questions. First, how does changing the mass affect the force of the swing? And second, how does changing the acceleration affect the force of the swing? We have our testable question. I think we're ready to write the procedures for our experiment.